Hey guys, welcome back to Vertical Momentum. I'm your host, Richard Kaufman, also known as the Comeback Coach. Guys, this is going to be an awesome show. We're going to be talking about how to unleash your power. And we're going to be talking about some of my favorite subject, manifestation, RAS, NLP with my brother. This is going to be an awesome conversation. And also, if you stay till the end, my brother's going to give you 3 pieces of advice that you can use today to start getting ahead in your life, not only professionally, but personally.
Right on.
My brother,
Right on.
welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, appreciate it, Richard. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Come on, I get to hang out with you today. Guys, this gentleman is the Swiss Army knife of positivity. He's been there. He's done it all. He's a speaker. He's a coach. He's done a lot of stuff like Habitat for Humanity. He's also a DJ. Wiki. We're going to talk about that. We'll go old school.
I use the old school records. I was hardcore.
That's it. So, brother, how are you doing today, and what's new?
You know, I'm looking forward to this. All I can say is continued growth, and as you know, growth is not always comfortable, but continued growth, growing, and it's a good problem to have. Growing my business, growing new leads, new opportunities, new potentials as well. New people. So I've had a crazy past few weeks, and that happens every time you up level. You know, crazy few weeks, then things settle back to normal. Hiring more people on my team, amazing people I'm connected with, because you're a reflection of the people you spend the most time with. And if you have an awesome team in your business or anywhere, your business, your life, your work, whatever it is, you're gonna do well. No one achieves wild success all on their own. And so having a great team is paramount to that. And I'm realizing that over and over and over again. So growth, a little bit uncomfortable growth, exciting stuff though, that's for sure.
So let me ask you first question. Your life probably hasn't been all sunshine, rainbows, Skittles, and unicorns. So what is your definition of resiliency?
Definition of resiliency. Well, to me, it's never giving up, no matter what. And I've been there in a number of ways. I've banged my head against the wall until I figured it out. I've banged my head against the wall until someone said, "Stop banging your head against the wall. Do it this way." And now I ask questions, I ask for help. But really, resiliency is never giving up, and preferably also never losing that motivation, the enthusiasm. Honestly, that where you started from. It's maintaining. It can be moving from failure to failure while still being highly motivated. I mean, yes, they sting and they may suck for a little while, but really, all in all, that high degree of motivation, that never give up, do or die. I'm gonna make this work no matter what. I think that's and figuring out a way, finding a way no matter what. I think there's always a way to do something, to achieve something, overcome something. There is no can't. I know I'm spitting a bit of platitudes right now, but it's true. There is no can't. It's how can I? Always ask yourself, how can I? And that's something I do no matter how good or bad a situation is.
All right. So now let's hop back in the Wayback Machine. Let's hop in the DeLorean. When you were growing up, were you into this, learning about this whole mindset? Because I'm a little bit older than you. And I remember when Tony Robbins came out with his tapes, and I used to have the whole tape set at home. Unleash the power, was it the power within? I think something like that.
Positive thinking, the power of positivity, all that stuff.
Yeah. So is that something you got into it as an early age, or more of as an adult?
Great question. It was an adult, and luckily that a lot of this stuff had saved my life. And we can get more into that too. But a lot of this stuff has been just transformational for me. My personal relationships, working with people, dating with women, with my friends, parents, business people, clients, you name it. And I really didn't, the major amount of self-work for myself has probably only been the past 15, 20 years. I mean, I've been doing a lot of work even the past, 30 years too, undoing a lot of the damage, so to speak, that the bullies. I was heavily bullied as well. I was a skinny kid, then I got picked on, then I wanted to be big and strong, so I got strong but fat, which didn't help either, and picked on for that. And women didn't want to date me because I was strong but fat. So that messed with me too. And just having a lot of anxiety, depression, in general in life. I think because of all this stuff, the trauma, bullying, being picked on physically and verbally too. I've had my head put through glass windows, you name it. It's just all kinds of craziness. And I wouldn't change it for the world because it's definitely made me who I am today and shaped me who I am today. That's for sure. But yeah, it's life hasn't always been rosy, and you never know what someone's dealing with, right? But life hasn't always been rosy for me. Health issues, like I said, obesity, all kinds of things, chronic fatigue, a lot ADHD, all kinds of stuff as well. And I know there's people out there with worse, of course. It majorly affected me in a really big way, and it feels great to be open and honest and vulnerable here and saying, yeah, life up and down and all around. And there's times that have really, really sucked. I'm grateful for them all, and it's been all growth, and I've been resilient through all of it. It's taught me resilience, including the whole ADHD thing, because I found it very hard to study. And what took me 3 hours of homework, other kids could do in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of homework. So my life is a metaphor in perseverance and resilience, because it wasn't always easy, and often it was very, very hard. And I don't think it has to be. I don't think it has to be hard, but there's been some amazing learnings there, that's for sure.
Okay, so take me back to the moment, because most of the people that have become successful, like Tony Robbins, he can take you back to the moment in the restaurant with him and his mom. Take me back to the moment when you were like, okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Fair. And that's a good question. There was probably a couple of those, but really one of them was definitely, I would say, in my early 30s, when having health issues, digestive issues, energy level issues, fatigue, depression, you name it. And seeing traditional medical practitioners for help, I wasn't satisfied with their answers, and oftentimes they didn't have answers. We don't know why you're always tired, James. You don't know why you're always exhausted, why you can't lose weight, this and that, excuse me. And I got tired of those responses and the non-responses and what we don't know or whatever. And so I started to do a lot of research myself, learning, growth, development. I became a holistic nutritionist. I became an exercise and sports nutritionist. I learned all about the brain, started learning NLP. One of the things Tony Robbins is a master of too, started learning NLP, hypnosis, even becoming aware of ourselves and having a sense of self-awareness as well, which a lot of us don't. And just those ahas that I'm not happy with where I am. And with what I'm doing is not working as well. I was trying to be this big, formidable man, so I would be worthy and lovable and cool. And I was actually at a nightclub one day, and I was looking at, because I was trying to get the girl, and I wasn't very good with talking to women. And I look around, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's not these big monstrous guys that get the women that I was trying to be bigger and stronger, and women would like me, and people would like me, and people wouldn't bully me. Because I was still getting bullied even as a big boy. And I realized it's the people that are fit. They're fit, they're strong, they're confident, they're charismatic, they have fun. They don't really worry about what people think about them. They have boundaries. They'll speak out and shout out when need be, but they'll speak out when they need to. I was looking around and realizing, well, those are the guys that get the girl. Those are the guys that get the better jobs, the leadership jobs, get the recognition, better friends, they're happier, they're healthier. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing this all wrong. I'm doing this like way wrong. I was trying to be a nice guy, people pleaser, and yes, be kind to people, but I was trying to be nice to everyone, no backbone. I would agree with everyone, never standing up for myself, never standing for something. And if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing, really, is my opinion. So just that whole massive realization about who I was being, who I was not being, and who I didn't want to be anymore. And of course, who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go. And yeah, that realizing that life had really helped me shape my resilience and my never give up attitude and this is hard, screw it, let's do it anyway. It's going to take a while, screw it, let's do it anyway. I've been there, done that, with all the things I've dealt with. Cool. What do we have to do? What do you have to do to make this happen? What do I have to do to be free and to have fun and this kind of thing? So definitely. Hope that answers your question, by the way.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being a humble alpha male
Mm-hmm.
and to being somebody like the Tate brothers, where they're just totally on the other side. And so I want to
I
get your
agree.
opinion on that. But then I also want to get your opinion on, can charisma be taught, or is that something that's inbred?
Those are great questions. So the first these are great questions. The first question, you're right. It's that, and I hate the word toxic masculinity, because masculinity is not toxic. Just like femininity is not toxic. People can be toxic. Anyways, off that soapbox for a little while. But you're right though, that people can be so arrogant and take things too far, versus being like humble, confident, masculine, and charismatic, and caring and loving people, wanting to help people, wanting to make a difference, and also, sure of who I am, sure of what I represent, who I'm not, who I don't want to be, what I won't stand for, but also being humble and dropping the ego and realizing that I'm not perfect. I make mistakes and I can learn from others. I mean, I'm humble enough to learn from my little nieces and nephews. They teach me all kinds of stuff. I'm like, just be humble enough to learn from kids, and you'll do all right. I think you're right. There's this balance, and sometimes a fine balance between being a pushover or a yes man or yes woman, and not having boundaries, and then being someone that's too egotistical and too I'm the cat's ass kind of thing. I'm being too holier than thou, if you will. And I think sometimes the pendulum, it can swing far one side and then far the other before it kind of centers in the middle. So oftentimes we do, and I had a lot of ego too. It was a way to protect myself. It was a mechanism to protect myself so I didn't get hurt. So there was a lot of ego. There was a bit of an arrogant James before, again, the pendulum kind of settled in the middle. And yes, this confident, amazing person, if I do say so myself, who's also humble, who also wants to help people, want people to do well. I'm empathetic and understanding, and I do my best to listen and understand others, and also stop people if they're breaking my boundaries. Yeah, tell people no if I need, and ask for what I need to. Ask what I want.
So can charisma be taught?
I think it can, because I certainly wasn't the most charismatic person when I was younger. That's for sure. Probably the opposite. I wasn't a very good listener as well. I think I'd learned that after years of bullying. I just kind of shut off and stopped listening to anyone. So I totally think charisma can be taught, definitely, especially if someone is coachable. If someone's coachable and drops the ego, I'm perfect, I don't need this, I don't need to do that, I don't need to understand that, people have to do this for me. When the ego drops, yes, I think charisma can certainly be taught, because I've certainly come a long way and learned a lot of it too. And it still sometimes surprises me to this day when people say, I love your energy, you're such an amazing, I love your vibe, love your energy, I want to do this for you and this for you and help you with this, and let me introduce you to this person, or put you on my show or my podcast, or connect you with this. It's very, very humbling. I'm like, wow, I've come a long way. That's for sure. So yes, absolutely.
But don't you think, and this is where we're going to get into NLP, I grew up an abused child. I grew up, and we talk about this on your show a little bit. I grew up, I was bullied. And as I got older, I had to take and guys, I'm 56 years old. So excuse me if I say you have to take the tape out sometimes and replace it with another tape. And you have to be able to change your brain. And I think using NLP, which is something I learned from Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, and also from learning from you, that once you can actually change your brain, it's not woo-woo. Nope. This is not woo-woo stuff. So take us into exactly, well, in your opinion, what NLP, break it down Barney style. What is NLP?
Great question. So things like tools like NLP are basically subconscious level tools, because I mean, all of our learning, all of our really deep thoughts, all of our behavior and change, it's all unconscious. It's all subconscious. It's not, we don't walk around, okay, James, remember 1 + 1 is 2. Remember 1 + 1 is 2. We don't remember that. We don't consciously think, maybe I should react to this person. Maybe I should be a jerk or yell at this person or get pissed off. It's not conscious. It's all subconscious stuff, subconscious programs, habits, behaviors, beliefs. So NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, gives us access to changing or reprogramming, and even being aware of a lot of that subconscious stuff, and really how to work with and control our subconscious mind, deprogram stuff that's not working for us anymore, and be able to let go of the crap, and stop certain behaviors, stop certain patterns or habits, or start doing something like standing up for ourselves, speaking up, because a lot of times we don't. And so that's why I love the tools. It's both a way to look at people, problems, life differently. It's a way to change this thing. You mentioned the RAS as well. It's a way to pay attention to different things, because your eyes will see what your brain is looking for. I'll say it again. Your eyes will only see, in fact, will only see what your brain is looking for, which is why oftentimes that there's missed opportunities, or someone stuck in the crap because all they're looking for is the crap. Oh, life is crap. People are jerks. When, well, no, there's lots of great people. There's lots of great things about life. Yes, the world's interesting right now, but also the world's an incredible people, plants, animals, amazing things. I got to scuba dive with whale sharks when I was in Philippines a few weeks ago. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And just so life is incredible. But again, if your brain is such programmed that it's only, your eyes are only looking for all the crap, or bad opportunities, or reasons why everyone's out to get you, or you can't do this, or why you're stupid or not good enough or whatever, then that's what you're going to see. So NLP helps us reprogram those filters and really reprogram, if you will, those binoculars, or that spotlight in our life that only illuminates a certain part of our life, a certain part of the outside world. It changes that. And NLP and some other tools, including things like timeline therapy, will help reset those filters. So you're seeing everything, and you're seeing the world as it is, not our filters, not our perception of the world, our limited angle of how we see everything. I got a limited angle of how we see everything. And I mean, it's so interesting. It's I was walking into a coffee shop one day, and this woman was walking out, and a big gust of wind blew, and the door was about to swing shut, big metal door, and hit her. And so luckily, again, being a big guy, I reached out and I blocked the door, and bang. And she looks, and she's scared, and she's like, "You didn't have to hit the what are you so rough with the door? You have to hit the door and scare me?" I'm like, pretty sure I just made your day, and otherwise you had whacked in the head by this big metal door, that not just a regular, it was a big, huge metal fancy door that was just caught in the wind. And yes, you're welcome, because my arm hurt at the end of it. But it's perception. It's completely perception. That her perception was just, she didn't see the big picture. She probably didn't see that and notice that the wind had came up and had literally, because just people are in their own worlds, their own perception. She had her coffee, walking to the coffee, had her coffee on her phone. And so, very narrow focus. So just a metaphor to show you that, again, there's a lot of things we don't see, a lot of things we don't notice, and we perceive something a certain way. Wow, that guy's angry. He didn't have to hit the door, like he's mad. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome for probably saving your face when you hit by the door. But again, it's all perceptions that NLP will change and reset the filters, if you will, reset the programming from life, and reset all that stuff, which causes us to think a certain way, act a certain way, behave a certain way, self-sabotage a certain way, habits, patterns, and actions. So I love NLP. I love all these tools, timeline therapy, hypnosis, and there's so many amazing tools out there that'll really get going at a subconscious level to literally cause massive changes. And that's one of the biggest things responsible for my charisma, because I stopped worrying what people think about me. And I seek to have fun and help people in the world, make people's days better. You can't win them all. Not everyone loves me or what I do, what I speak on, what I say, but definitely I think there's a good amount of people who love who I am and my personality and what I represent now. That's for sure.
But, since nobody has ever read the book by Napoleon Hill, Work and Grow Rich, a lot of people read the book Think and Grow Rich. and that goes back to the early 1900s, late 1800s with Mr. Carnegie.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said that your obsessions become your possessions.
Correct.
So whether, your mind, like you said, your mind will find whatever it looks for. So if you're looking for health, if you're looking for wealth, you're going to find it. If you're looking for sickness, if you're looking for being poor, you're going to find it.
Exactly.
So how do you go about changing those neural pathways? How do you does it have a lot to do with also self-talk also?
Somewhat, self-talk's a big thing, and certainly our self-talk. We literally program ourselves with our self-talk. The things you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm so dumb," or "I'm so stupid," or "Why do I screw this up?" You're literally programming yourself for more of that with your self-talk. With what people say to you, of course, you're programming yourself. And yes, your parents, society, religion, culture, grandparents, teachers have also all programmed you and limited you in a lot of ways. We learn a lot of good things from people. We also become limited in a lot of ways as well. Whether it's you hear money doesn't grow on trees, or you can't because you're not blank enough, or you have to, or you should, or you shouldn't. A good girl does this, or a good boy doesn't do that. All this programming, all this stuff, or get a secure job. I mean, I was laid off in the height of my career after winning Awards Club, winning IBM Employee of the Year, laid off twice in my career at stable jobs, IBM and Lenovo and Novell, right? So all this stuff that programs us. So that the tools, yes, self-talk as well, and being NLP will teach you to pay attention. Because again, I mentioned you're programming yourself with your words, you're also your thoughts, the thoughts that run rampant, your 60, 80,000 thoughts we have each day, unless you have something like NLP. Most of those thoughts are negative. And most of those thoughts you don't even realize that is there. The awareness is not there to pay attention to with tools like NLP and some of the other things I teach. You can step back and literally hear these negative voices and stop them and shut them down. You can do pattern interrupts. You can reframe them. NLP will teach you reframing your mind, reframing the thoughts, stopping the thoughts in general. There's a lot of amazing techniques too. If you hear a negative thought or you feel disempowered, how to switch that, and how to really switch gears and switch what your mind is seeing, thinking, perceiving. There was even really powerful tools within timeline therapy, similar but different to NLP, to literally go back on certain events and negative events or events that had limited you, or failures, you name it, and basically let that stuff go, release the limiting beliefs, and get a lot of really cool learnings about yourself from those events. Grow and learn and let go, let the crap go. That's haunting you, that's holding you back, that you keep focusing on or obsessing with or rehashing in your brain, that is limiting you and having you hold back or stop or stop and start or quit or give up or whatever. Speaking of resilience and perseverance, and that way you can become a person who is resilient and perseverant, because that stuff that stops you is no longer there, and you can just go and do what you need to do.
Well, see, I know my life turned around when I had a conversation with Mr. Ed Milet.
Mm-hmm.
And something that he told me is, because I thought I had PTSD until the moment he said, "Rich, nothing has ever happened to you. Everything has happened for you.
All right.
And everything is a teachable moment."
Yep.
And that's the moment when I went from post-traumatic stress to post-traumatic growth.
Yep.
So when people start thinking like that, you can literally change your mind in a moment.
Yep.
If you have something like that. So talk about it. Sometimes it doesn't take years of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, whatever, correct, psychotherapy. It could be just a moment of clarity.
Yeah, correct.
So talk about that a little bit.
I love that. It's a great point. People sometimes say, "Oh, it takes so long to change," and I say, no. Change can happen with a decision, with an aha, with a moment of clarity or an insight or whatever. An aha, a decision to never do that again, or never be that again, or never let yourself X, Y, Z again, or to always do whatever it is you want. That moment of clarity, and tools like NLP, I love it because they deal really deeply with the subconscious, and they can just remove these weeds in our garden, if you will, versus simply talk therapy. And like you said, sometimes it can take years. I love the subconscious tools, of which there's many, of course. But it's always a great place to start and end. That's where all our crap lies, essentially. And I agree, a change can happen in an instant with a reframe, a different way of looking at something, a different perception, just changing your belief, or deciding, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be whatever. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to make this work. you're right. In an instant, change can happen in an instant. I love that. And a lot of these tools can help you get there, and see these perceptions, reframe these things in an instant as well.
Yeah, because I mean, if somebody came up to you and said, or came up to me and said, your daughter has terminal cancer, that's going to change me in a second. I'm not
Sure.
going to have to go think, oh man, that's going to change me. I got to deal with this 6 months from now. No,
Fair
that's
enough.
going to change me from now.
Mhm.
So a lot of people, realize that, hey, I can change. My mind can change. My life can change in a moment.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, like you said, it's what we're actually focusing on. Now let's talk about, because I was on a call with my friend Jeff Ross, and we were
Mm.
just talking about manifestation. I believe in it very wholeheartedly,
Mm.
and there's a reason why I believe in it, and my people know why. I had on my vision board for 10 years a picture of Atlantis, and I said I'm going to go to Atlantis.
The
It's been on my
continent or
vision
the
board,
resort in the
the resort
Bahamas?
in the
Beautiful.
Bahamas, for 10 years. And one day my wife comes to me and said, honey, we're going on a cruise. And I'm like, okay, never been on one. Where are we going? She's like, to the Bahamas. We're going to Atlantis. But the thing that was weird about it, or she was deathly afraid of water.
Oh, well.
So she said, because she's seen up on the wall for 10 years, that
Very cool.
manifested her to and now we're going back for our third time coming up this summer. But
Love it.
I think, like, if you want something, you have to have a vision board. I believe in vision boards.
Yep.
You have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to touch it, and it'll become a reality. I don't think it's woo-woo. I think it's actually brain science. So what are your
Correct.
thoughts on manifestation?
I agree. It's completely neuroscience. I mean, and there's a variety of ways. Again, we've been programmed negatively often in our life. Again, parents, culture, news, media, you name it, our own thoughts, bullies, you name it. And we can also reprogram and program ourselves as well. For example, we are always programming that RAS, that it's called the reticular activating system. It's our pay attention system. It's also our wake sleep system. But it's our pay attention and focus system. Because if we focused on everything that was coming into our brains all at once from all our senses, we'd be totally overwhelmed. I mean, right now, I'm not paying attention to the sound of the heater, or there's a dog outside, or my I don't know, my feet are a little cold. We're not paying attention to that stuff. Our RAS kind of has that spotlight of the narrow pay attention to. And so, again, it's looking for what your brain has been programmed for, your pay attention, your RAS. Now, what you can do is you can program that and reprogram it, whether it's with vision boards and you're looking at something every day. Your brain is eventually like, oh, we want that. Let's go get it. Same thing with affirmations too. Affirmations, meditation, hypnosis sessions, I have a daily declaration that I listen to twice a day. Comes on my phone, on my alarm. Comes up, this is the purpose of my life. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to have in my life. This is who I want to have in my life. This is what I want to do and where I want to be working remotely and teaching and speaking, helping people. It's all programming that brain, that RAS system as well. It's science, I think, for sure, for manifesting, because you program your brain enough and it goes and gets what you want. It's like when you buy a car, a pair of shoes, or whatever. And all of a sudden, holy crap, there's a lot of people that have my car, or that bought the shoes or the shirt or the whatever you bought. Because when you buy something, that also okay, this is me, I'm committed to it, I buy it, and it programs your brain for that as well. So that way you notice, wow, why does everyone have the same shirt or the same bag or the same cell phone, or everyone's, wow, look at all the cars that are the same as mine out there. Your brain is now paying attention to that because you programmed it by buying something. You can do it just as well, like I said, with affirmations, a vision board, something you recite every day, something you see every day, say every day, feel every day. That will help manifest it. And again, you're also putting that energy, that vibe out to the universe, to other people as well. Science and psychology has proven it through transference, to work on transference, which is people's ability to pick up on your energy, your vibe. And that's why a coach or therapist has to really be careful and check themselves with what they, and even a teacher, with what they believe the client, student can actually achieve. Because if they don't believe the client or student or person, patient can actually do something, then they likely won't do it. And vice versa, if even if it's someone that's down and out or doesn't think much of themselves, if I or you or we or the therapist or coach believes they can do it, then that energy, that vibe, they can feel that. And it multiplies, magnifies the chance that they're going to do it. They've done this study with teachers, giving normal students, average students, to a teacher saying, oh, you're going to have a rough time with these students. They're all dummies. They're not going to do well. Good luck. And of course, they all do horribly. And then you have teachers, the same group of students, the teacher been told, I hope you're up to it. These students are smart. They're amazing. They're so bright, and they may give you a run for your money. They're amazing students. Hope you're up to the task. And lo and behold, they do really wildly well in the class. Same group of students. It's just the teacher has a different, again, perception and belief about what they can do, what they can actuate, and what they can't in their brain. And they project it all over the students or patients or clients or whatever. So again, law of transference, our RAS, reticular activating system in the brain, it's neuroscience. So I agree. I believe manifestation as well. And I think, I'm a spiritual guy too. I think you're putting that out there to the world. This is what I want. So whoever or whatever brings that stuff to us, well, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And day after day, eventually the world will bring it to you. Your unconscious mind will bring it to you with your actions, behaviors, belief patterns as well.
Well, my business coach, Joe Nicasio, said, if I ask the world for a penny, it's going to give it to me. If I ask it for $1, it's going to give it to me. So it's all about what you ask. Exactly. Your life is equal to the questions that you ask of it.
That's true.
But I have a question. I had my friend David Meltzer come on the show, and he told me something that changed my life. He said, gratitude and anger cannot occupy the same space.
Fair.
So talk to me about, like, for me, when I go to bed at night, the first thing I do is I say my prayers. I pray for my wife, and then I give thanks for 3 amazing things that happened during my day, and this episode is going to be one of them. And then when I wake up in the morning, if I can see something because I lost 60% of my vision, I say, thank you, Lord. It's going to be an amazing day. I don't know what you got in store for me, but I'm looking forward to it. So before my feet hit the ground, I'm in gratitude. Before I go to bed, I'm in gratitude. So how important is gratitude, especially if you have a spiritual connection? How important is gratitude?
I think it's very important. Gratitude, it'll set the tone for your day. It'll set the tone for your sleep. It'll help you set your intention for the day. Instead of waking up pissy, going to bed pissy, it totally changes things and sets the intention. And like you said, gratitude and anger. I would also say gratitude and lack or poverty thinking. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Why I'm not making this money? Why my credit card bill so high? Why don't I have a Porsche? Why don't I have what the other people have? Why whatever? Why is my house not bigger or whatever? Why is my body not bigger? And like you said, gratitude can't occupy the same space. And so anytime I get into a lack perspective or down, depressed, you name it, I think about, I look around and see all the things I'm just wildly, wildly grateful for, and how blessed and how much abundance is in my life. My life is incredible. And yes, I get down to it. Happens to all of us. We get in the gutter. I think gratitude can be something that will help us recover from that. And it sets your mind straight, and it totally changes your emotional state. And obviously, when we're in a good emotional state, we do good things. And when we're in a crappy emotional state, we do crappy things like react, or we're jerks, or reactive to people. We yell at people. We eat crap we shouldn't. We skip the gym. We whatever. We bail on something. We procrastinate. When we're in a great empowered state, emotional and mental state, then we do great things. We take action, support people. Go to the gym, eat better, start something new, take action, you name it. And yes, gratitude will help massively change your emotional state, because what you focus on is what you feel. So if you don't like what you're feeling, change what you're focusing on, because you're probably focusing on something consciously or subconsciously that you don't like or don't want. That's why you're feeling like crap. So literally you have the power to change. And that's the theme of NLP too. You have the power to change your emotional state. And often what will change that is what you're focusing on. And again, gratitude will do massive, massive things. And instead of focusing on, I don't want to be sick, I don't want to be broke, focus on, well, I want to be rich, I want to be healthy, I want to be successful, I want to be happy. And I'm so grateful that I have a roof over my head, because not everyone does. I'm so thankful for my car. I have a cool sports car. Would I love to have like a Nissan GTR 550 horsepower monster? Yes, absolutely. I'd love that. And I'm so grateful that I do have a cool sports car. Again, first world problems. I have a roof over my head. I have, sufficient light to do these podcasts. I have nice tea. I love tea. I have nice tea. Whatever it might be, gratitude will totally, totally change your mindset. If you're in a tough place, or if you're not as productive as you want, or you're just not in a state that you like, change that state. And like you said, and like Tony Robbins says, that change, and like James Elliot says, that change can happen in an instant as well.
But also something, even something that Donald Miller said, that people that are successful, they focus on their wants, where people that aren't successful, they focus on their needs. Okay, we all know that we need to eat, we need to have, we need to be warm, we need to have love and all that stuff. But if you're just focusing on your needs, then you're never going to focus on your wants. Like, nobody needs to have a sports car, nobody needs to have a beach house, but it's a want.
Yeah.
So isn't it funner to live for what your wants are instead of just what your needs are? Because if you're just focusing on your needs, you're not going to get any further than your needs.
I would agree. It's like you are focusing on the bare minimum, or you're focusing on the what's the word I'm looking for? Not desperation. You're I guess the lack, focusing on lack, and instead of focusing on abundance. I'm having a loss for words right now. I have sick brain still today, but I agree with you. Like you're saying, you're focusing on the wrong thing. And instead of that needs and that neediness and the very, very basic focus, let's focus higher. Let's think bigger. There we go. Let's think bigger. Let's dream bigger. What do we really, really want? What's up here, that for us that really will light us up, that we really want, like you said, versus the basic needs. You're going to meet your basic needs, but that's probably all you'll do if you focus on that. You get what you focus on. So be careful what you focus on. You want a sports car or a Porsche or a cottage or a beach house or whatever. Well, focus on that too, and want that, and focus on your wants. And how do I have that? How do I create that? How do I get that? Because anything is possible.
Because I noticed that people that wake up just so they can pay their electric bill, they're not exactly the happiest people in the world.
It's true.
But if they're waking up and say, "Hey, I got a cruise coming up. We do have a cruise coming up in 180 days. I want to get up and hustle and grind. So when I go on that cruise, I can spend as much money as I want and do what I want to do." So, but let's talk about something else and I know we're starting to wind down. I was in the audience at a Gary Vaynerchuk event, and something he talked about is the power of proximity. And how important it is. Like, if I hang out with 5 guys that are hanging out at the bar, going to titty clubs, getting divorced, I'm probably going to be number 6.
Correct.
But if I hang out with 5 guys that are focused on their families, their businesses, and they're focusing on positive stuff in life.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to be, hit million, and they're millionaires. I'm probably going to be the 6th. Yeah. So let's talk about proximity, because a lot of people, they look around and they're broke, busted, and disgusted, but all their friends are broke, busted, and disgusted.
Correct. So
talk about the power of the 5.
Oh, it's like I say, the 5, 10 people you spend the most time with, you're going to be, you're going to be basically a reflection of them. It's so true. I mean, if you want to lose weight, go hang out with healthy, fit people. You're going to lose weight. It's going to happen. If you want to be wildly successful, go hang out with successful people, people that are up to, or people that are on the way to success, people that are on the way, they're up to cool things. They're out kicking butt, taking names. They're rocking their business. They're networking and they're collaborating. They're out there pushing their stuff. If you want to lose weight, probably avoid hanging out with overweight people, because they're just going to, influence you to do more things that will make you more overweight. I agree. Proximity to who you want to be like. And not that you have to be exactly like them, but I had a couple friends years ago, and I thought, do I want to be like them? And the answer was no. And because we often think, oh, I've been friends with them for years, and we've been friends since we were kids, and blah 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 blah. Well, if they don't want, if you don't want to be like them, especially if there's some questionable ethics or standards there, then I would say either cut them loose or have massive boundaries and maybe spend a lot less time with them and more time, to your point, Richard, in proximity with who you want to be like. Spend time with, who you want to be like. That'll help you be who you want to be like. Your version of that, not a clone of, Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins or me or whoever, but your version of that. Yeah, be who you want to be for yourself. And yes, your environment dramatically dictates your success. Yes, you can do tons of work on your mindset, positive thinking, go after what you want, resilience, perseverance, go for it, take action. And your environment is also going to create limitations or empower you for success as well. I mean, if a bunch of friends are like, oh, it's too hard, or oh, don't do that, or oh, you've given some effort, just forget it, come to the bar, let's have some drinks, whatever. Then you're going to have one result versus if you have friends, then they're seeing you struggle. And if they're like, I know you can do this. You go F and do it. I know you can do this. I believe in you. What do you need from me? How can I help? How can I support you? How can I even kick your butt to make sure you get there? I can see being successful already. Well, you're going to have a dramatically different result, especially on the hard times and the hard days. If you have friends that will lift you up and kick your butt and say, what do you need? I love you. I support you. You're going to rock it. I know you can do this versus, forget it. It's too hard. It's going to take too long. Or it's going to cost too much or whatever. You may lose your money. Just come to the bar or just eat chips with us or whatever the thing is. Or, oh, the government's all out to get us and all these people are out to get us and this and that. So the environment is huge. There's a really good book by two Harvard researchers called Switch by Chip and Dan Heath. And they talk about typically three things, as I do, to make change. And they have different metaphors for it. But really, it's yes, change your mind, master your mindset, take control of this thing. And they also call it, shape the path, which is create an environment that makes it easy for success and it makes it effortless for success. Yes, maybe learnings and dare I say failure, but learnings and lessons along the way. But when your environment supports you and says, that's okay. You fell off the bike, all good. Let's get back on the bike and we'll try again. We'll do it again. Or whatever metaphor you want to use. You did have one talk, no one came to that talk, or no one liked your talk. That's okay. Let's do it again. Let's do another one. Let's do it differently. So it's really, it's like master your mindset. And really, number two, be to change that program. Continue to change that programming. And again, shape that path. That way the path, it's like a slide. It's effortless for you to succeed because you're surrounded proximity by these amazing people. It makes it almost effortless.
I love it. So the last question is, because this is a teaching podcast, say if there's some guy out there or girl, they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Mm-hmm. What would be your top 3 pieces of advice to get them out of their funk?
Great question. So again, speaking of the last one, change your environment. Change your house if you need, change your environment, change your friends. You can't really change your family. However, you can have boundaries with your family. And I've heard every excuse why people can't. You can have boundaries with your family, friends, etc. Stop hanging out with certain people, start hanging out. So again, change that environment. Make it effortless for you to if you want to go to the gym, have your shoes ready, have your gym bag at the front door, maybe work out with a friend if you want. That way there's accountability and it's more fun. Create that environment. That way it's impossible, dare I say, it's impossible to fail. There may be failures, setbacks, but it's impossible to fail long-term because your environment supports it. With people, with planning, with friends, have this thing off when you're working, hire mentors, hire coaches, hire great people to make sure you succeed and can point out, where you may be making mistakes or point out things you're not seeing or help you from the pitfalls and roadblocks and avalanches and things like that. That would be one big one is again, shape that path, make sure it's a slide so you can really, really, really grow. Another thing is really, like I said before, never give up. Fate favors the fearless. That's for sure. That was an alliteration. Fate favors the fearless. It's true. If you're fearless, you go after things. If you want, you take action. Yes. You may if you hide, you may not fail, but then you fail by default because you live a life that's unfulfilled. So you're failing by default. You get back to the end of your life and you're in your rocking chair and you have your tea and you're rocking your chair and looking back at your life thinking, well, holy crap, I didn't do much of anything. I played it so safe that I really didn't do anything and didn't do anything cool or didn't help make the world a better place. I didn't leave a legacy. That way I'm remembered when I'm gone. I didn't make a big impact. I maybe I went to the gym, bought a bunch of stuff I probably didn't need and can't take with me anyways. I worked and watched a bunch of TV. That for me would be the ultimate horrible end of my life. But just really going after what you want and knowing that it's possible and never ever giving up is a huge thing. So take action, go after what you want. Like I said, create the environment for success as well. Focus on what you want. Again, the world's got lots of good and lots of bad. So really focus on what you want, and because you'll feel what you focus on, and you'll get what you focus on. If you don't like what you're feeling, if you don't like what you're getting, then change your focus, change your perception, and have someone support you with that too and help you with that. But gratitude, Richard, it's a great start. Gratitude, vision board, great affirmations, they're great starts. Now, I mean, you can't affirmation your way out of a deep core limiting belief that's in your subconscious. That's where coaches and tools and change makers like myself come in. Let's get rid of those self-limiting beliefs so you can go after anything you want. And so yeah, those are big things. Focus on what you want. Take action, including reshaping your environment, and of course, never ever give up. Be okay with risk. Be okay with failure, because nothing amazing happens without risk. I mean, you don't walk out of your house on a given day without any risk, right? So instead of fearing and making up all these probable scenarios of negativity and chaos and failure that'll probably never happen. Actually, it's scientifically proven most of what we fear never happens unless we obsess about it so much that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And because of our actions or lack of actions due to how much we fear or obsess with that thing, we actually can bring that crap into our life. But mostly the things you fear never happen. So focus on what you want. And if you're going to make up the future anyways, why don't we make it up good and make it up empowering? Well, wow, I can be, a president of my own company. I can change the world. I can help people. I can help Africans and elephants in Africa. I can help starving people in South America. Whatever it is, imagine what could be possible. Imagine what could happen that's positive versus imagine all the crap that can happen, which people typically are very good at just due to our programming, how our parents and culture and society is. Plus, yes, the brain is very good at paying attention to the negative and watching out for the negative because it did keep us alive, many thousands of years ago. When there was wild animals roaming everywhere and we could be eaten at any, or a warring tribe could kill us at any moment. Yes, it worked back then. That's why we do pay attention to negative stuff. We do perk up and pay attention to negative news. It's because we're programmed for that. So be very careful. And instead of watching crap news on how the world's ending and all the crap going on in the world, be very, especially during the first few minutes of hours of your day or the last few minutes or hour of your day. That's when you're the most suggestible, the most programmable. Your guard is down. You're tired. You're foggy. You're just waking up or just going to sleep. That stuff can slip in. That gatekeeper, if you will, is they're not awake yet, or they've already gone to sleep. So be very careful what you watch and listen to first thing in the morning and first thing when you go to bed, unless you want to program yourself for utter failure and focusing on what you don't want and a crap life. Be very careful with news and things. Listen to something motivational, educational, inspiring, empowering, your own motivations, your own declaration. Record a 1 to 2 to 3 minute declaration of who you are and what you want on this thing. Have it go off automatically on your alarm twice a day. That will program you. So I'll leave you with that. I'll recap. If you want, I can recap and I'll leave you with that. Focus on what you want. Take action, including changing your environment and going for what you want, never giving up, taking risk. And focus on what you want, take action, and never ever give up. That's the thing.
I love it. So if we want to get into your ecosystem or want to be coached by you, how do we find you?
One of the best ways is my site, limitless-entrepreneur.com or unleashyourpower.com. Both of them will get to me. You can find me, James R. Elliot, on YouTube. In fact, I'm James R. Elliot 99 on the YouTube little quick link. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram as well. James R for Robert Elliot. You'll find me there as well. Or again, just reach out from one of my websites. Limitless-entrepreneur.com is one of the better ones to check out.
And how do we find your amazing podcast?
Beautiful. So it is called, it's all on social, it's on YouTube, and it's also on things like Spotify, iTunes, Google. It's called the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast. I got really creative with the name. The Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, just like the same name as my business. I got really creative, so that's how you can find the podcast too. But it's all on my socials and my YouTube too. I push it out everywhere.
And thank you so much for having me on your show this week, by the way. I'm very grateful and humbled. Brother, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out today.
Thank you.
I love and I appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you're in my life. And I just wanted to say thank you, brother.
Thank you as well. I'm grateful you're here, Richard, and we can have this time to give back to the world. Appreciate you and your amazing questions, by the way. Thank you so much for the great questions. You even got me thinking, and I really hope it gave a lot of value to people as well. And just that change happens in an instant. Anything is possible. Anything's possible. We have satellites that beam at my cottage. We have satellites that beam the internet down to me in the middle of the woods. I mean, we have robots and AI that do our homework for us and can write essays for us. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. And it's the unfortunate, the thinking, the limited thinking, the poverty, the lack thinking, like even, I believe it was Watson, James Watson. I think James Watson was his name. Founder of IBM. He said, computers, people won't need computers in their homes. They're just not practical. No one's going to need, maybe a few universities and libraries will need a computer, but they're not practical. No one's going to need a computer in their homes. And we'll look, we probably all have like 10 or 12 and exactly.
And now we got that.
Exactly. More power than probably most computers in the 80s and 90s, even in this thing.
Yep. And guys, like I end every week, as you know, I'm a big Joel Osteen guy, and something that he says is every morning when we wake up, we could choose between being a victim or being a victor. And if you guys show up every week like you do, you're no longer a victim of your past, but you're a victor of your present and your future. Thank you so much for always showing up, guys. And brother, I just want to say thank you, and I can't wait to see what you got coming up because you get me so motivated every day. I just wanted to say thank you.
Love it. And to you as well, brother, too. And here's to everyone's wild success. If you need something, let me know. If you want to talk, let me know. I'm always happy to talk, support, and see how I can be of service. I love making the world a better place. In fact, it's my mission and purpose.
I love it. And guys, remember, vertical momentum. The only way to go is up. I love you guys. Have an amazing weekend.
Thank you as well.